Hey everybody, Parker J is in the house. This is the after show for the special edition of The Right Stuff, and I had the pleasure of talking to the men of Amish fiction. They are the ones, along with Elk Lake Publishing, that created the anthology, The Amish Menorah. It's available on Amazon.com or wherever books are sold. We had a wonderful time on the podcast, and I just wanted to get some more detailed, in-depth stuff about the anthology with some of the authors. They all weren't able to be here tonight, but we did get some of them. We have Willard Carpenter here with me, and I'm about to bring Willard on. And he has been on the show several times. And so we want to thank Willard for being with us today. Willard, how are you doing?
I am absolutely wonderful.
And we
It's a
also
pleasure to be here.
we also have Tom Nye. He's with us on the show as well. Tom, go ahead and wave to everybody.
Hey, hello. Got my dog here with me.
I'm so glad. I'm a dog lover too. Definitely a dog lover. So yeah, I get you. And then it's awesome that you guys are here with me to talk more about the Amish Menorah. We had a really in-depth conversation on the podcast, but this just gives us an opportunity for viewers out there to know just a little bit more behind the scenes about what happened with the anthology, what's going on, Elk Publishing, and all that good stuff. So really thank you guys for helping us here. So, after you've done several of these interviews. So what is the one thing that always astonishes you when you present this unique anthology to readers?
You're asking me here. Yes.
Will first, and then Tom.
Okay.
Will,
I'm
can you
trying
hear
to
me?
I'm trying to understand the question, Parker.
No, my question was, you've done several of these interviews showcasing this anthology, but what always surprises you about it that readers are drawn to about the anthology?
Um, Hunger. They always seem to be hungry for more. Um, I was taken by one reader who's looking for a follow-up to my story, and and they posted something on my Facebook site, and I thought it was the same reader who put that in the on Amazon when they were writing on Amazon about us, and I thought it was the same person. Here was a different person still looking for a follow up to the story, and it was just like you when you said about the ending to the story. Well, I did that intentionally. Just in case there was a follow up to the story, and I had in the back of my mind there might be a Christmas story coming up. So um, it worked out perfect, actually.
And real quickly, before I have Tom answer, we do have Deb Haggerty. She's on the keyboard with us. And Deb, I want to thank you for being with us. I know you can't be on camera, but we see you. So if you have any comments as you're listening to the conversation, just feel free to continue to put them in the comment section. Now, Tom, go ahead. What was your response to that question as well?
Okay. I guess I would say that the fact that people are surprised that there are men that write Amish fiction, I feel like that is. I'm surprised that more men aren't reading Amish fiction and that more men aren't writing it because it's a very earthy, rough, rugged lifestyle, but yet there's something super sweet about being on an Amish farm, being in that kind of a scenery that's just peaceful and inspiring. So I guess I'm surprised that people are surprised that
Yeah.
us men are writing it.
Yeah. And I think one of our supporters, she was like, you really do have the most interesting people and topics on the show. And this was one of them, having men write Amish fiction. This was one of them. And again, want to thank Deb Haggerty from Elk Lakes Publishing for putting this anthology together. Now, you kind of hinted at it, but it seems like there was a lot going on behind the scenes with this with Elk Publishing. So, we want to thank Deb for that. So my next question would be, what is the one thing that people misunderstand about the Amish that they think everyone else knows about the Amish, but that it isn't true?
And are you asking Tom Nye?
Yeah, I'm asking Tom. Yeah, Tom.
Okay.
And then
Well,
Will. Always go back and forth.
okay. And I can't hear Will, so um,
Oh,
I
okay.
would I would say that I'm people either think of Amish as being just saints that just are like the most innocent, un, just so naive about what's happening in the world, type of people, or they think that they're cruel, hard, driven people. And you just can't throw everybody from any ethnic group, race, nationality in one group. Don't do it with Amish. And I would say that is probably one of the biggest things that is a misunderstanding about the Amish, is that there's different as you and I, or as me and my one of my brothers. We might, not be exactly the same, but everybody has a different experience to bring into the table, and I think it's a misunderstanding to lump Amish in one group or the other.
Yeah. What about you, Willard?
The one thing I found was that the Pennsylvania Dutch that they speak is actually like what my newspaper editor would call dirty German. Is
Oh my gosh.
German is it's actually Pennsylvania Deutsch, and they speak German. The children are brought up speaking German till they're about 4 or 5 years of age,
Mhm.
and then they start learning English when they start their school. And a lot of people don't realize what is Pennsylvania Dutch is actually Pennsylvania German.
Yeah. Deutsch. It's actually
Deutsch.
Deutsch. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. But we all say Pennsylvania Dutch because why would we want to be accurate? Why we
right,
want to do it
right.
all, right? We did get a couple of comments. We got Jeremiah Knight. Jeremiah is a wonderful author, and Jeremiah says Parker is awesome. Jeremiah, thank you. I appreciate that. And he also says the Amish rock. And then he said, all we have where I come from is the Mennonites, and they're nice people. And that's another question I want to ask really quickly before I read this last comment. And then Deb Haggerty, she is from Elk Lake Publishing. She said the same thing is true about these 6 writers. And she was talking about the misconceptions that people have about men writing honest fiction or writing romance. And then Jeremiah, he's just a superstar. He says, Deb is a superstar. He says, you rock, Parker. And Jeremiah, thank you for the vote of confidence and keeping us going here. I was wondering about that because, particularly in Patrick Craig's story, and Patrick Craig, he couldn't be with us this evening. He and you all guys mentioned it too. There was this nuance between Amish and Mennonites, and I would love to know what the nuance is between them. So we'll start first with Willard, and then Tom, you go. So Willard's going to go first now.
Oh wow. I had an opportunity to actually be in the midst of that with David Stoltzfus, and that he was the first person when I was talking about the baker, the Amish baker in the Zerns market, and we got invited to his home for dinner, and he lived within a Mennonite community. His farmette was within a Mennonite community, even though he himself belonged to another community. And they're just little things. The the Mennonite you would actually find, as far as people calling themselves Mennonite, they become very liberal, where they actually have cars. My
Wow.
brother and my sister-in-law practice the Mennonite faith, for
Mm-hmm.
example, on the very liberal side of things. Okay, and and then it gets a little bit more stricter from there, where um, the stricter women within the Mennonite faith will have a cap. And where he lived, the Amish had gray buggies, and he had a gray buggy. David had a gray buggy, and the Mennonite within the Lancaster area, Honeybrook area, and all around there in Pennsylvania have a black buggy, and just things like that.
Okay, so those nuances there. And then, Tom, what about some of the nuances you are aware of between the Amish and the Mennonites?
Okay, well, I couldn't hear what Willard said, so I'm hope I don't repeat anything. But my wife grew up Mennonite, and my in-laws are Mennonites, and they you wouldn't know them from anybody else uh, on the street.
Right.
But there is every variation of Mennonite and Amish, and there are Mennonites that drive horse and buggy. Um, Originally, the way I understand it, originally there was a Mennonite church. The Amish broke away because they wanted to be more conservative, and
Yep.
so they have the same roots. They have the same general statement of faith, except that the Amish have really tried to. They've come down more on the how they dress. Like driving a horse and buggy, and Mennonites are more focused on just the peace stance, or they're very strong believers in peace and nonviolence and that kind of thing. So
Well, that's a good way of showing it. I'm pretty sure we don't have the time to go deep down into it, but I'm pretty sure there are other nuances as well. So I wanted to thank you guys for being so diligent in your research and your understanding. Well, Tom, you live with the Amish community for,
yeah.
you've got tons of experience, but and Willard, same thing here. And then Jeremiah says the Mennonites where I come from drive and have vehicles, and that actually coincides with what Willard said. And I love Jeremiah because he says, I support Christian authors. And he says, all I write is Christian Japanese anime, but I enjoy the Christian Amish fiction genre. And Jeremiah, thank you. We'll be talking soon. We were supposed to be talking before and we never got that going. So Jeremiah, just PM me later on and we'll get going with that. And then Deb from Elk Lake Publishing, she put up the website. The website is also in the crawler below this video. So, and Jeremiah says Elk Lake Publishing is awesome. And then Amos, who couldn't be with us on the show, Amos Weiss, he's one of the authors of the Amish Menorah. He says, with you in spirit, not in person. So that's okay, Amos. Like I said, we can handle it because you were there with us for the entire broadcast this evening. We had such a great time. Amos's story is very lighthearted, whimsical, humorous, but does have some serious issues that deals with it. And for our listeners and viewers out there, the thing about the Amish Menorah is that if you're used to cozy Amish fiction, this ain't it. This is hard-hitting literary Amish fiction. This is Amish fiction that deals with more just romance or mystery. And it's hard-hitting and it takes place in different eras. And it shows the Amish as people who have the same problems that we do. And I want to thank you guys for being so diligent in bringing the fact that just like everyone else in the world needs Jesus, so do the Amish, and having that
Right.
evangelism and things of that nature. And so, last thing I want to do is give you guys an opportunity. Oh, Deb said, I'm just going to put her comment, said, need to run. Thank you so much, Parker. And that's again, Deb. She is the owner of Elk Lake Publishing. Again, that is down below the crawler there. So yeah, I'm really thankful that you guys are here with me. Before I let you guys go, what is one thing you want to share with our viewers out there about the Amish Menorah and how we can get a copy of that or what they can expect, stuff like that?
Okay.
Tom?
And that's Tom. Tom, you go first. Tom, you
Okay.
go
Here.
first.
Okay. So
Sorry.
here I go. So
Mhm.
you can go on the Elk Lake website and order a book through their website. So keep that in mind. That would be a way. And it is available on Amazon, as you've mentioned. I also will make it available on my blog, amishhorses.blogspot.com.
Mhm.
And so if you go to my website, you can click on order a book, and there you can see how you can order a book, any of my books. Um, and as far as I do want to say that this book, I feel by taking 6 men, you're going to get a slightly different perspective on the Amish and on writing than you are from most Amish fiction, because there's probably
Right.
75 female authors of Amish fiction and about us, maybe 6, 7, 8 guys that write Amish fiction. So it's a different take, but I think why not get a different viewpoint and find out a little something about the perspective maybe from a male. And my books are, I write a lot of romance, and this particular story is of mine is not romance. But don't think that I don't write romance. I'm a very romantic person.
Yeah, yeah. Zing! That's what it is right there. Like, I'm letting you know. I'm letting you know. And I like it when you say that, because sometimes we are so quick to put people in boxes and try
Yeah,
to box people up like this is your box and this is where you will stay. But the Amish Menorah, just in its existence, shows that we are breaking the box off of Amish fiction. And I
amen.
wouldn't, and these
Yeah.
books are just, these stories are so spectacular. Will, what was some of your thoughts too? And share any social media links you want to share as well.
I so much enjoyed when we spent our son-in-law was in the Ukraine last summer for the summer. He was deployed there, and he was teaching there. So I think I can say that much safely. And so we spent the summer in Tennessee with our daughter. And when Patrick, I don't remember if he called me or emailed me. I think he called me. I keep thinking he did. And I was so excited when he pitched me with this idea, and I was on my way out the door to Fort Campbell to go to the pool with my family, and I spent the time in the pool looking at clouds and everything was like running like this, and uh, coming up with all kind of ideas, and that's how I start the my story, as you know. So I had such a good time with that, and I have the same thing going on now with my Christmas story, A Christmas Rose. So you'll see some interesting things in there also. Find me on just go to Willard Carpenter on Facebook. I love chatting with people. I love chatting about my stories. I do a little less on my author side of my Facebook page. On the professional side, I catch all kind of people on my public side. As a matter of fact, I try to keep that to just family and writing and things like that. I do other things, but I hide them from my page.
Understand that one. I totally understand that. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me for this after show. Again, to our viewers, we have talked about the Amish Menorah. It is a new anthology, hot off the press, available from Elk Lake Publishing. You want to know more about Elk Lake Publishing? Their website is in the crawler below this video. And as always, loving my brothers today. We also want to thank Patrick Craig, Patrick Craig, Murray Pura, Amos Wise, Jerry Eicher, and I'm missing someone. I know I'm missing someone.
Deb?
And Willard.
Deb Haggerty, and of course, Willard and Tom, for writing this wonderful story. And they are going to come back. They're going to come back with more, and I hope I'm invited to that conversation as well. All right, gang. Thank you so much, guys, for being here with
Thank
me.
you.
Really
Good seeing
enjoyed
you, Tom.
having you. All right,
Thank you.
gang. Y'all have a good one.
We love
You
you.
too.
You have a beautiful voice. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I just want to thank all of you for supporting Right Stuff. This is a special edition of the Right Stuff where we showcase anthologies, new releases, stuff like that. And if you want to prayerfully consider donating to this ministry, simply go to patreon.com/right stuff. You can become a Quill member for $3 a month. And prayerfully consider that. But if you can't support, we love your prayers. So be sure to pray for the right stuff as we showcase Christian authors all over the world. All right, gang, you have a wonderful, absolutely glorious, blessed day. And God bless.